Well, hello, friends. How are you doing? I hope you've had a good day. And today is only Tuesday, and it feels like a Thursday to me. Why does just 2 days into the week feel like it's the end of the week? Does that ever happen to you, or am I just like the lone wolf on that one? But it really feels like it's been like the entire week for some bizarre reason. Hey, Linda, how are you doing? Um, I did hear most of Red's second, yeah, because he did 2 streams today. But I was, like, working and doing stuff, so I don't recall that much of it. Hey, Sherry, how are you doing? Hope you are doing okay. I'm trying to get myself together here. I really need to charge my phone. You ever do that where you just, like, kind of, like, think your phone's going to keep on going, like, forever, and eventually you realize, "Oh, maybe I should actually give it some love," you know, help it out a little bit. Because at night, sometimes I forget to charge it. So I'm like, I'll get to you. Because it's not like I am on my phone calling people. The only thing I really do is like text my husband with my phone. That's pretty much about it. Kind of boring, but that's life. Um, Yesterday, my second QNet video went out, and it was all about the history. And I've been working on my third script, which is all the various controversies. And there's several instances of self-harm. It gets really dark. There's human trafficking associated with QNet. It's very, very, like I said, it's dark. And I found myself in, I guess, a QNet survivors group. Um, what? He didn't he extended it? Ash extended the founder's position. I had not heard that. I heard him saying that he wasn't going to extend it. Where did you hear that, Silvio? I would be interested. I'd like to see that. That is pretty important information because I mean, I looked at the summary from yesterday's stream, which I do. Chalupa, you're trying to get under child, trying to go under the covers. And in yesterday's stream, he was like, under no uncertain terms are we going to be extending this. So I find that really super interesting, which we will be looking at that Q&A as well. Tonight, though, we are going to be looking at a short paper that my friend and colleague, Dr. William Keep, wrote about the DSEF and how it is basically paying academics to say good things about multi-level marketing. The DSEF is the Direct Selling Education Foundation. Hopefully, I remembered that correctly. But I'm very curious as to where you did find this information out about Ash extending the unpassive founder's position. So let us know where you got that info because inquiring minds want to know. Does anybody else besides me remember that saying? Inquiring minds want to know. There was a notification anywhere? Nope. Wow, what does me just say over here? I canceled what? Okay. Alrighty. So we have no song to do tonight. So I always feel whenever I don't have an on passive song to play, it just feels weird. And I did find somebody tagged me in my It's a Scams group, Song 24, and I had just started memeing it. And let me tell you, it's a doozy. And by a doozy, I'm not saying anything good about it. To do a tier list, now I have 24 songs to come up with, like, where the hell am I going to put them in the damn tier list? Because, I was like, do I just rank all of them, the top 24 songs? I mean, that's all of them, right? Or do I do the top 10 out of the 24 and give honorable mentions? That seems kind of weird. The top 20, I don't know. And I think it's Lamar that pointed me to this song that I'm talking about, song 24, that now I actually have, that I've started memeing. And it's absolutely horrible and it's and comical at the same time. And check it out. Silvio said that Ash extended the founder's position for 24 hours, but I don't know where he heard that from. I'm very curious. Very, very curious because I'm a curious cat. Meow. Want to know these things. Where did this come from? And has anybody else seen anything about that? Because I want to know. I really do. But if no one's going to tell me, I'm going to continue on and read this brief article and discuss this with you guys and talk about the professors who are basically being paid by the DSA, which is the Direct Selling Association, because the Direct Selling Education Foundation is kind of a branch of the Direct Selling Association. It's their educational branch so that they can, pay off people basically to write good things about multi-level marketing and saying how it's so wonderful, but it so isn't. Let's see, where is, there it is, okay. All right, so y'all should be able to see that on screen. You heard it closes at 11:59 p.m. on Wednesday, so that would be 24 hours, an additional 24 hours. Where did you hear that from? I want to know because I haven't seen that or heard that. Okay, now how do I make this bigger? View bigger? Well, I want to make this bigger. Can I do that? No. This is too small for me. I need to make it bigger, guys. Let me just make the font bigger for myself. Well, I didn't quite get all of it. There, that helped. Okay. For some readers, the term multi-level marketing, MLM, may be unfamiliar, though most will recognize the names of at least some prominent MLM companies: Amway, Nu Skin, Herbalife, Rodan and Fields, Arbonne, doTERRA, etc. By the mid-1990s, the MLM model, which promises amped up income potential by linking earning to recruiting others who in turn recruit others, began to displace the original single-level direct selling model popularized by the ubiquitous Avon lady, a modality that faded with changing lifestyles. Since then, the Federal Trade Commission, FTC, has brought successful enforcement actions against over 24 MLMs labeled as illegal pyramid schemes, including one that operated for 25 years. In 2016, the then FTC chairwoman famously declared that Herbalife was not determined not to have been a pyramid. The propensity for MLM participants to make unverifiable claims regarding products and or income potential dates to at least the early 1950s. By the 1970s, the Food and Drug Administration, FTC, and Security Exchange Commission each had filed cases against MLM companies. With can't talk, with participants required to make ongoing purchases to be eligible for earnings. The MLM model generates profits for parent companies and large earnings to top distributors, while the vast majority of participants end with a financial loss. The Direct Selling Association, DSA, the industry trade group, has worked tirelessly over decades to support its MLM members and lobby state and federal legislators on their behalf, despite FTC warnings and successful pyramid scheme enforcement actions that included two award winning DSA members. Why then would over 200 professors, mostly in marketing, actively support and promote the MLM industry to their students, colleagues, and members of Congress? Such is the case with faculty fellows affiliated with the Direct Selling Education Foundation, DSEF, the education arm of the DSA. The DSEF's mission unabashedly seeks to advance an industry mired in constant controversy. The DSEF engages and educates the public on the ways of direct selling empowers individuals, supports communities, and strengthens economics worldwide. DSEF fellows have, in a very unacademic fashion, advocated for and promoted the DSA and the MLM industry for 40 years. Sip of water. In 1982, 16 industry executives met with 16 marketing professors to discuss academic support to advance the DSA. Over time, the quid pro became clear. Advanced industry interests with materials for marketing courses, case studies for the classroom, and improving textbook coverage of the industry in exchange for supporting academic interests, grants, events, scholarships, research opportunities, etc. By the end of the decade, the DSEF Fellows supported academic programming and wrote articles favorable to the industry, particularly in the Journal of Professional Selling and Sales Marketing, JPSSM. Eventually, the DSEF would come to support JPSSM editorial operations at a level described by a formal editor as gracious munificence. The DSEF would also fund doctoral student awards through the American Marketing Association, AMA, as well as provide direct support to doctoral students. Doesn't that kind of make your skin crawl? That doctoral students are being supported basically by the DSA. And so they, in turn, would naturally, their research would be pro MLM. Kind of makes me a little bit sick at my stomach. A DSEF funded monograph written by a marketing professor describes, in flattering terms, the development of the DSA Code of Ethics. The then vice chairman of Mary Kay described the monograph as one of the great positive business stories of the 20th century. A reviewer of the monograph saw it differently, noting a skeptic could see this monograph as part of the positive promotion of the DSA and its code. The monograph is not an analysis of the effectiveness of self regulation per se, though the publisher might hope some readers see it that way. Despite, or perhaps because of, public criticism that the MLM industry had unscrupulous operations and fraudulent pyramid schemes, support by marketing professors continued. In 1994 and again in 1996, research using subjects accessed via the DSA lent academic legitimacy to the industry with no recognition of the potential for consumer harm. The 1996 article describes an illegal pyramid scheme in terms unrelated to established case law and provides an example of a legal MLM where, in certain situations, the salespeople are effectively the inducers with little or no intent on reselling the product or service. The example contradicts a long line of case law where MLM companies were successfully labeled as illegal pyramid schemes. specifically because each failed to demonstrate consumer demand beyond the products purchased by distributors. Recently, the FTC reaffirmed the importance of sales to non distributors, people unaffiliated with the company who actually buy and use the product the MLM sells, real retail sales. In other words, and by real sales, we mean sales that are both profitable and verifiable, retail sales that can be confirmed. By 1999, 13 colleges and universities in the United States hosted DSEF programs. Over the next 2 decades, marketing professors would circulate white papers in defense of the industry, papers not vetted through a peer review process. Defend MLM companies subject to lawsuits and continue to recruit academic colleagues. DSEF support for faculty continued in the form of industry speakers, classroom materials, and funding for research favorable to the industry. In 2021, 7 marketing professors and a former member of the DSA Hall of Fame co authored a book recommended for classroom use that defines an illegal pyramid scheme contrary to 5 decades of case law, misrepresenting the difference between a legal MLM and an illegal pyramid scheme. One chapter sympathetically claims the MLM industry has been subject to a biased misinterpretation in the mass media. But there are years of court cases and a library of evidence to the contrary compiled by the nonprofit truthinadvertising.org. Elsewhere, the book compares MLM independent distributors to gig workers, such as Uber drivers. The text makes no mention that A, Uber drivers earn income based on each transaction, whereas MLM distributors earn income only after achieving threshold volume levels despite have generated sales for the parent company. B, MLM distributors pursuing the income opportunity make required ongoing product purchases even in the absence of earned income. And C, the MLM industry has been repeatedly cited for misleading product and income claims over decades. DSEF fellows promote the MLM industry selectively and avoid the issue of successful pyramid scheme prosecutions. In 2016, the Federal Trade Commission, FTC, prosecuted Vima, an award winning DSA member that recruited students on college campuses around the country. The close to home impact of this tactic should surely be bothersome to any academic paying attention. As one parent stated, not only did my son drop out of college, but he has been living on the streets in his car for the past 3 weeks. My son has been persuaded by Vima's training and negative influences to have unrealistic expectations for earning an income. 3 years later, the FTC brought an action against Advocare, a DSA award winning member that had operated for 25 years for operating a pyramid scheme. In 2021, the state of Washington successfully sued the MLM company LuLaRoe for operating a pyramid scheme. When asked under oath if he was familiar with any recent FTC litigations against MLM companies, a marketing professor, DSEF fellow, longtime industry supporter, and grant recipient replied, "No, sir." According to the ethical business standards of the AMA, academic and professional members should 1. Do no harm, 2. Foster trust in the marketing system, and 3. Embrace ethical values. But the track record of DSEF fellows does not show adherence to the stated standards. The MLM industry they support has caused large scale documented harms to vulnerable populations. $200 million paid to victims in the Herbalife settlement, undermined trust in the marketing systems with misleading product and earnings claims, and failed to adhere to its own ethical values. The FTC recognizes three areas of ongoing concern with the MLM model: misleading product claims, deceptive income claims, and the risk of operating an illegal pyramid scheme. That marketing professors have for decades defended, enabled, and promoted the MLM industry raises a serious question. Whose interests, those of students or those of the industry do the professors hold in the highest regard? I think that is pretty powerful. Yeah, no peer reviews. So that gives a lot to think about. And what I did want to just kind of also go over, I'm not going to show the names of the people associated on this because this does come from an email list that Bill Keep shared with me. But maybe you will recognize some of the colleges and universities mentioned that have professors who have been in support of MLM through their research and writing. And this includes what, one, two, three, four, five, six professors from Auburn University. There's two from Ave Maria University. One, two, three, four, five from Babson College. Uh, one from Barry University. Oh boy, I have two from Baylor University. One from Belmont University, one from Brooklyn College, three from Bryant University, one from California State University at San Marcos, Central Connecticut College, Central Connecticut State University, one from Central Michigan University, Christopher Newport University, Clayton State University, Clemens University, three from there, College of William and Mary, Dalton State University, Dominican University, East Carolina University, East Tennessee State University, Eastern Kentucky University, Elon University, Emory University, Fayetteville State University, Ferris State University, Florida State University, Florida State University at Panama City, Frostburg University, George Washington University, Henderson State University, Hillsborough Community College, ICN Business School, Illinois State University, Independent Consultant, Indiana State University. There's what, one, two, three, four, five at Indiana University, Inland Empire Desert Regional Consortium. One, two, three, four, five, six, Iowa State University. Three from James Madison University, John Carroll University, Justice Liebig University at Gießen, Kansas State University, two from there, King's College London, Lamar University, Lamoille College, Louisiana State University, Louisiana Tech University, Loyola University of New Orleans, Manchester University, McGill University, Menlo College, Metropolitan State University of Denver, Middle Tennessee State University, Midwestern State University, Mills College, Minnesota State University, Mankato, Minot State University, National Association for Community College Entrepreneurship, National Research University of Higher Education of Economics, Northeastern University, three from there, Northern Illinois University, Northwestern University, Oakland University. Some of these have like two or three. Oklahoma State University, Penn State University, Pennsylvania State University at Harrisburg, Point Park University, Purdue University, Rochester Institute of Technology, Rollins College, Rowan University, Rutgers University, St. Joseph's University, St. Mary's College of California, Seattle Pacific University, Shenandoah University, Simmons University, Slippery Rock University, Southeastern Louisiana University, St. Edward's University, St. Mary's University, Stockton University, Tarrant County College District, Texas Christian University, Texas Tech University, the University of Southern Mississippi, Trinity Western University, University of Alabama at Birmingham, University of Arkansas, University of Calgary, University of California at Davis, University of Central Florida, University of Colorado at Colorado Springs, University of Denver, University of Georgia, University of Louisiana at Lafayette, University of Louisiana at Monroe, University of Massachusetts at Dartmouth, University of Michigan at Dearborn, University of Minnesota, University of Mississippi, University of Missouri, University of Munster, University of Nebraska at Lincoln, University of Nebraska at Las Vegas, University of New Haven, University of North Carolina at Greensboro, University of North Carolina at Pembroke, University of North Carolina at Wilmington, University of North Georgia, University of North Texas, University of Northern Colorado, University of Oklahoma, University of San Diego, University of San Francisco, University of South Alabama, University of South Carolina, University of South Carolina, Aiken, University of South Florida, University of Southern Mississippi, University of Tampa, University of Tennessee at Chattanooga, University of Texas at Arlington, University of Texas at Austin, University of Texas at Dallas, University of Texas at Permian Basin, University of Toledo, University of Tulsa, University of Washington, University of Wisconsin at Madison, University of Wisconsin at Whitewater, University of Wyoming, Utah State University, Valdosta State University, Virginia Commonwealth University, Virginia Tech, Wake Forest University, Washington State University, Western Kentucky University, York College, Pennsylvania, York University, Troy University, KTH Royal Institute of Technology in Stockholm, California Community College Economic and Workforce Development, University of South Carolina Upstate, Baldwin Wallace University, the College of St. Rose, Tarleton University, Texas A&M University System, University of North Carolina at Greensboro. I may have already said that one earlier, but this is kind of split out somewhere. Kennesaw State University, Benedictine College, Loyola Marymount University. Yep, and there are some big names there. So, yeah, all of these universities are involved in promoting MLMs. And most of those are like from the marketing department, which is really kind of frightening. But I think it's important to talk about because I think that this is just one more area that I think it shows that there is a lack of understanding of what multi-level marketing is, and B, the harm that occurs for people who have been involved in multi-level marketing. So I wonder if the people who are in academia, if they know, where can you find that list? You can't. That list was sent to me by Bill Keep. And I'm not going to give out that list because it has personal information on it. That's why I just read off all of the colleges and universities, because originally this came from people who had registered to attend the conference. So sorry, I can't share that. But you know, do they know people who have been involved in multi-level marketing? And if they do know people who have been involved in multi-level marketing, do they know how much time and effort the people that they know have put forth to be in multi-level marketing and how much money they have lost in multi-level marketing? At one point, I think it is off. Let me see and look. DSEF. Let's look at the fellows program because I think they took off the list of all of the fellows because they did have all the fellows listed publicly, and I think they did take that off. I'll share this with you. Okay. So they're given a 3-year opportunity to work with the foundation to gain a deep understanding into the insights of the channel. They're going to learn all about multi-level marketing. Okay, the DSEF fellows complete list. Did they tell us? Said they're going to give us a complete list. That's what they said it was going to give us. See the complete list of our DSEF fellows. I clicked it. It's not taking me anywhere. They took that down. It has with the teaching content. And see, here's the thing is that they have spent a lot of time and a lot of money on like to teach things about, oh gosh, the Cutco knives people. Oh, Cutco grinds my gears. Yeah, there's a lot of money being put in to say how fantastic multi-level marketing is and why you too should get involved with it. So, you have all of this research that has been done. So, Angel, you can come here and nose around, like, what is on the DSEF, but they no longer have published who it is, but they do. Let's see, do they have the donors listed? Let's see. Oh, well, here we have basically all of, the different MLMs that are going like, look, we love you so much. Help us continue being janky. Help us continue to being harmful. And I am going to presume these names are probably people that are big in MLM companies. That would be my guess. Maybe some CEOs or something. I don't know. I haven't looked up those names. So, Educator of the Year. Who is this person that's so wonderful? Why am I talking in this voice? Look, oh, these are the people that are so wonderful that have been promoting MLM from 2018. Dr. Elizabeth Davis, oh, she did such a good job. Dr. Brenda Coon, University of Georgia, oh, she did such a great job too. She loves MLM. And she wants all of her students to join MLM. Both of them, they're like, oh, MLM is the best. It's just so good. We just need the world joining MLM. That's what we need to do. Oh, it's a disaster on mobile. I'm sorry. We do need a giant encyclopedia of all of that. There are some sites that actually do have pretty good look up MLMs. Let's see what else. Let's see. There's like, oh, look, there's donor recognitions more. Contributors, Circle of Honor. Who's in the Circle of Honor? I've got to use this voice. Oh, Mary Kay Ash. Oh, look. Oh, look at all of these wonderful people that have been in MLMs. They started MLMs. Look at this. Oh, look, Dick DeVos. There he is. What a peach. Hasn't caused any sort of harm at all. No, no. None of these people have. Not one little bit. No, not at all. Let's see. What's here? Oh, look at all of these fantastic companies. They just want to help. Well, that's what they're here for, is just to help everybody. That's all they want to do. That's it. Just help. Save the world. Oh, my gosh. That's the whole thing with Ash, is that, I mean, he's such a little peon in comparison to everyone else, in this industry. And his whole thing now is that, like, only a small percentage of people in on passive are going to hear anything about what's actually going on. So he's going to pick and choose. And then if anybody figures out what the comp plan is, he's going to change it. I mean, I don't know. It's so flippin' confusing. So we're going to have to look at listen to what he talked about in the second round of question and answers, which I do have the summary of some of that too. But we'll have to do that at another time. But I really wanted to share this stuff with you guys about um, the DSEF, because this is just another piece of the puzzle, of the MLM puzzle, is that we have this going on where there's people in these universities that are pro MLM, and they're training our children who would then think MLM was the problem. The only problem is, well, if you didn't work hard, you didn't put forth enough effort, that's your own damn fault, which is a bunch of crap. Your mom had a cookbook from the 60s. Well, Sherry, that is just scary. That's just frightening to me. Anyway, that's all that I had. So this is just kind of a short, sweet, kind of simple little live to just go over, what Bill wrote about it, and to talk about some of the people involved. I mean, just the school, so you have an awareness, because you don't know if your alma mater might be on the list or not. But if you listen to me, now you know. And I will tell you this. I may have said this story before, but I'll say it again because maybe not everybody heard it. Back when I was a Hunbot, I did I was invited to be at some kind of a health fair as a Beachbody coach. There I was, collecting names of students from my alma mater and getting in touch with them, trying to get them to sign up to be Beachbody coaches. There I was. Yes. But I think it's teaching our colleges and universities that you shouldn't have anybody associated with MLM on campus. Clearly, the people, that invited me, who knew what Beachbody workouts were, didn't know what MLM was, because I shouldn't have been invited, even though I'm an alum. That should never be happening. But we need to be able to let our alma maters know that we don't want that happening. We don't want students, being hit up to join an MLM. Anyway, I'm going to bid you all a good night, and tomorrow let's look at, and again, it's another really long Q&A session. I heard that the 360 is not going to happen tomorrow. I think Red said it's going to be happening on Thursday instead of tomorrow. My guess is that Sir Ash will come on it and give some sort of update, whatever that might be. So we'll see. Anyway, have a good evening wherever you are. To Molly and Chalupa, say good night as well. And don't forget, you're beautiful and I love you. Good night to all.